mental health in the schools. So there are different district supports that obviously, if you're going to be a superintendent or assistant superintendent, you can have a direct impact on this, but as a school administrator, you can also suggest that these things be done. So a director of social and emotional learning, this is something that school districts are really starting to pursue and implement. It is very important. It can create a lot of positive experiences for students in a school. It's a fairly new title in districts, so I think the schools that have it are still sort of trying to tease out, like, what does it mean and how can we use this person? But that's a really good start. Allocate additional resources to adjustment councils. I mean, ultimately, when you think of budget constraints, what are some of the first staff that we cut in schools? We cut non-teaching staff. That's a bad idea. We need to stop doing that. We've got to understand that if you don't support the students' emotional health, then academics is never going to happen. Okay? Allow private counselors to meet with students at schools. So in talking to my own therapist, she talks a lot about how, like, her schedule is hard to fill during the day because her clients are all working or at school, right? So we could take a student out of school, have them go see their therapist in their therapist's office, and have them come back to school, but between travel and dismissal and returning, they're missing way more school, which is going to add to their anxiety. So why not have a program where you can invite these private therapists to come into the schools and meet with students? It comes no cost to the district. It's helping out the counselors, the private counselors, because they're filling up their schedules, and it can be billed through the private insurance like it would be billed through them anyway. That's another option. You could do different social emotional programming. So I don't know if any of you did the DARE program when you were kids, but we did that in schools, right? Keep kids off drugs. That's an important thing. But, like, why don't we do any programming like that where it comes to mental health in schools? That's something else. I've seen Start with Hello Week, which is a Sandy Hook initiative, where it's all about, like, going up to someone and just being like, "Hi, how are you?" and, like, starting a friendship. Okay, that's something we can do. A New Mentality was a student organization that was started at Attleboro High School, where they tried to, as a student group, promote mental health. And so they were a student-run organization, and so they would promote. They had bracelets that they would give out, and I mean, it's kind of ironic because it's also where I struggle with my organization. It's like, how do you start an organization where you invite people that have anxiety to come meet new people? It's like a juxtaposition. Like, it's not, it's like jumbo shrimp. It doesn't make sense, right? So that's a little bit hard. Being mental health advocates, that's where I really think we can focus all of our energy. That's what I want to empower you guys to do, is that being an advocate doesn't mean you have to suffer from the illness. You can be a mental health advocate because you believe in it and you know it's a problem, even if you don't suffer from it. Okay? It's obviously easier to be an advocate for something that you suffer from. That's why that's where my passion is, because of my own personal experience, but it doesn't have to be that way. A lot of schools are looking to flex boxes now, which are like an X block, is another thing that it's called, where it's like an open period during the schedule where students have time to go meet with a counselor or engage in non-academic per se things. I hate to say it's like downtime, because that can be negatively looked at, like, why are we giving kids downtime and unstructured time? But it's time you can do a lot of things with. Instead of pulling kids out of classes to go to group therapy, they can do it during flexible. And instituting cell phone policies. I mean, this obviously has benefits when it comes to academic learning, but it has huge emotional benefits, okay? It's forcing kids to turn off from that social media, and if we can do that even for a small portion of time, it's going to be very beneficial. We just recently instituted a cell phone policy where I work. We did it on April 1st.
Really?
No phones in class.
No phones in class?
No phones in class.
Milford High School?
At Milford High School. It was a huge risk that we took as an administration, and I'll tell you, as the assistant principal that has to hand down the discipline for kids that break that, I felt like the cell phone police for the first 2 weeks. It's like all I did every day. But the benefits of it have been phenomenal. Kids have said they like it better. Obviously, parents are huge proponents of it. But another thing, I don't want to jinx myself, or like knock on wood or whatever, is the number of like student conflicts via social media that I've dealt with since April 1st has gone way down. That doesn't mean that it's happening, I'm sure, but it's not being brought to me during the school day.